Good afternoon, or should I say good evening? There's people that say 5 o'clock is evening. There's some people that say 5 o'clock is still part of the afternoon. Hey everybody, this is Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for the Kaslo Sourdough Pasta Company. Thank you for coming along again today. It's 5 o'clock. Cheers for my fun, I painted this, fun clown wine glass. I have a little bit of Chardonnay from yesterday left over because this is what this one is all about. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to adapt to this new way of life, living in my incredible little cottage. I've set myself up an office today, and it's time to continue to, this is life. I kind of took that word change out of my vocabulary because this is life right now. And you know what? And sometimes life, as we start to adapt, we get a lot busier. So today has been a very, very busy day for me. So today is about taking leftovers and turning it into left yummers. And so I've got some really great ingredients, some leftovers and some fresh ingredients. So I'm just going to, like I did yesterday, please enjoy the view in a second. I'm going to go wash my hands. And anybody who's out there, you could hear a special little song. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. So we go, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to whoever's watching. Happy birthday, Kaslo sourdough pasta lovers. Happy birthday to you. So my hands are washed. I have my bar cloth ready to go. And today it's all just going to be in front of me because leftovers or left yummers. I have all my ingredients. So everything is here. Today's apron is brought to you by alligators or crocodiles. I went to New Orleans a while back and this is the apron that I have from there. So I'll just pick the camera up and hopefully I can do a little bit better today as I learn this and turn the camera around. You might be able to see the goats there for a second. Oh, turn the camera around. Oh, come on, Jeanette. So today I'm using the semolina barley. I've got everything ready to go, and this is what a good cook does, gets it all together. Got a few little green olives that are stuffed with garlic. My sea salt is ready for my seasoning. I've got my pepper ready. I've got a little bit of cabbage, a little bit of red onion. Remember, I'm a single girl, so I make supples for a single girl, but I'll tell you along the way, if you had a family of 4, how much you want to use. Got some olive oil, some nice balsamic vinegar, a little bit of this organic basil in a tube, some feta, some leftover roasted vegetables, a leftover roasted sun-dried tomato, feta sausage, turkey sausage. I've only cooked up 40 grams of the barley pasta, and that is cold and it's ready to go, and I have rinsed it. So let's get cooking. Oh, let's turn the clown back this way. Okay, we're gonna have some fun today. So let's get making this pasta salad. So let's start with the dressing, because I'm going to make this dressing, put the fresh vegetables in it and give it a toss. Then I'm going to take my roasted root vegetables and the turkey sausage, cut it up and put it in with the pasta, toss that all up, finish it off with a little bit of feta. So this should only take, mind you, I will talk throughout this. This should only take me about 5 minutes, and that's what you want with a leftover to a left yummer, okay? So, and I kind of gave a shout out, my favorite knife in the whole wide world. Wusthof tried it with the little divots on it. So let's get started. Oh, I don't need my knife yet. So the dressing, simply, I'm going to give, I like a lot of pepper. Let's say 1/4 teaspoon of fresh grated pepper. Everything needs a little bit of salt, but I'm just going to use just a titch of salt because my olives are salty, my feta cheese is salty, and when I roasted my vegetables, I had a seasoning salt that I used on my vegetables. So I don't want to use a lot of salt. And plus I'm going to use a little bit of lemon, and lemon helps that salt as well. So if you take a look, I'm even going to back that off. I'm maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for this dressing. And I've got a beautiful from Olive Junction Olive Company. This is some sage, garlic, cilantro, balsamic vinegar. So this one here, you know what? It's a really thick one, so we're going to take this lid off. I'm going to say for this, about a tablespoon. It's really thick and reduced, so it's going to help coat my pasta as well. And I've got some from Well Seasoned in Langley, some Spanish extra virgin olive oil. And again, this one, I'm going to go about a tablespoon as well in this one. I've got my organic basil. This isn't a tube. You get it over in the veggies section. It's so handy. It's very fresh. I love it. And it's so handy, especially if you make like tomato, like bruschetta, a little fresh garlic, some tomato, this olive oil. That's another leftover. I'll do that one later. So give a little squirt of that, maybe about, I probably have a teaspoon in here. And I've got my quarter of a fresh lemon. And yesterday I made a recipe and I took the zest off it. So it's still very viable. I'm going to stick it in there. If you're watching and you can hear me, I see I've got, one person watching, it says. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, tell me where you are, ask me some questions. Just to kind of tell you that I did go to culinary school back in the 80s, PVI, when I was part of BCIT. And I love to cook, and I'm from the middle child of 7 kids. So it was like catering every night. So there was 9 in my family, and we love to cook. My dad went to culinary school. I have a brother, my youngest brother is a Red Seal chef up in Edmonton. Food is very connecting. So being that I'm by myself and I want to connect with you, this is a recipe that I would definitely make for my family. If you were going to make this for 4 people, you would just use, again, about a quarter cup of olive oil, the quarter cup of the balsamic, maybe a tablespoon of the basil, a little bit more pepper, a little bit more salt. And I just want to go back to this little kitchen gadget. I've had this for a long time and I love it. It's called a lemon reamer. The beautiful part about this is you put your half a lemon in, you give it a squeeze, and all the little, they call them pips or pits, stay in here. So I just get my lemon juice. And that's about it. Just going to give this a bit of a stir. And because the balsamic vinegar is reduced, sometimes in a vinaigrette you would use a little bit of mustard to kind of emulsify it, but I don't need to do this because the balsamic vinegar is definitely got, it's definitely thick enough that it's going to coat my pasta. So that's it. Something I love to do is always something, what's called a chef is correcting your seasoning. So I just kind of take a spoon, taste it. Doesn't need anything. I know it's got a nice balance there, knowing that I'm going to have the roasted vegetables in there, the feta, and the olives in there. I think my seasoning is just fine. So set that aside. And now let's get chopping kind of our fresh vegetables. And because the roasted vegetables were done al dente, I want to give something a bit more of a crunch, a little bit more of a fresh flavor. So I just have a little bit of cabbage. And I'm going to cut it kind of how you would cut it for coleslaw. And I hope you can see. Maybe if I tuck this down just a little bit more. That's better. Just using my phone. Remember, I'm not a Food Network star. I'm just like you at home going, what the heck is for supper? And this is what's for supper. We're making left yummers. So we're just going to cut it very finely in shreds. Watching our fingers, keeping our fingers and our knuckles back. And we basically have these beautiful little shreds. I'm going to go in the bowl. And if you tuned in yesterday, I gave everybody a little tip. Chefy tip. Don't want your board to move. Always put a little damp cloth underneath your cutting board. I have a little piece, I would say, oh my gosh, about a quarter of a cup. Once this is chopped of a red onion. I love red onion. Number 1, for the color. Number 2, it's not as harsh as a cooking onion. And if you wanted to harsh out the oniony flavor, if you soak that in a little bit of cold water for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it's going to, and then drain it and dry it well, it's going to take out some of that bitterness. So I've cut it in kind of long little pieces, but now I'm going to go a little bit finer. About the same kind of cut and texture and size of what the cabbage was. So there you go. You can kind of see there's about a quarter of a cup of red onion. Let's get the olives in. I just love these garlic stuffed olives. Let's go about 3 cups or 4 cuts per olive, nice little circles. It's what I had in my pantry. I didn't have black olives, which I would normally put a Kalamata in this. I'm not going to the store. So this is all stuff that's out of my pantry. Cutting it up. Nice little circles. And olives are so good for you guys. Oh my gosh. The omegas that are in olives, good for our brains. And of course the garlic. Oh, we all know what garlic does. It keeps vampires away. I've never seen a vampire in my house. So you see, I just kind of cut up little circles. Now we're going to get to my leftover roasted vegetables. So in here, I have a leftover JD Farms sun-dried tomato turkey sausage. Really good cold and or hot. And I have leftover there's a Brussels sprout in here, some parsnip, a carrot, a potato, a mushroom, a yellow pepper, again, some of that red onion that was in there. So I'm just going to give this just a little bit of a chop. And the reason why I wouldn't kind of go dump it right in is I need to open back up that end so my dressing is going to absorb into this to get a little bit more flavor. So I'm just going to kind of cut them in half to open them up because I want my new dressing to kind of marry with the seasoning that I put on the vegetables as well. So cutting these up. I love Brussels sprouts. Anybody out there love Brussels sprouts? Give me a thumbs up if you love Brussels sprouts. I love them. A little bit of a rough chop. Nice and easy. And I roasted these vegetables at JD Farms. They have a turkey rub spice that you can rub on your turkey when you're roasting your turkey. I love it. It's a good multi-purpose spice. I use that on my vegetables. A clove of garlic was in here and some salt and pepper. That's about it. So in that goes. Give them a chop. Oh, and I don't know if you can hear in the background. I actually have a CD that's called a Pasta Party CD that's playing in the back. So I have some kind of fun music playing in the background. Cutting all that up. If anybody wants to chime in and send me a question, I'd love to answer any questions. Where are you tonight? What are you making for supper? What's your favorite Kaslo pasta? Love to know that as well. So the turkey sausage, again, kind of cut it in half. I want to expose those great flavors that are going to kind of come out into my pasta salad. And I'm going to cut them in half. And to be kind of fun, as I call it a bar cut, I'm going to cut them on an angle. Because everything's looking pretty square and round in my bowl. So let's not cut them on an angle. So I got a little bit of a fun restaurant cut, is what I call it. End of the pot into my bowl. Oh my gosh, this is getting so fast. My hands are a little messy. I'll go back. Hang on. Enjoy. Here. See the cloud? Washing my hands. It's always good to have a bar towel close at hand to keep my hands nice and clean. So let's add, I've got my spoon. Give it a nice little toss. Beautiful colors in here. You're going to have that nice crunch. You know, and if you wanted to, because this is, I should be making Taco Tuesday. If you had a tortilla shell, you could put this in a tortilla shell as well, just as we're here. But we're making pasta salad. So in goes the 40 grams of the barley semolina. And you know what, guys? Okay, so a little bit of nutrition for you. This is amazing. So 4 grams of fiber in here. You've got really good, only for what I've got in here, let's see if I can do the math really quickly, 135 calories in the pasta. Lots of great vegetables in here. And literally 5 minutes to cook this. 5 minutes to cook it, cool it, and rinse it. Amazing. Okay, so there we go. You can kind of see this is definitely enough for 2 meals for me, which is good because as I'm starting to adapt to my new life and business here at home, I want to make sure I've got something going on for tomorrow morning for my lunch. So very easy, very, very easy. So this is enough for 2 meals for me. I've got my bowl. I love whiteware because that way my food comes, the food is the superstar and not the plate. So I'm going to take half of this, plate it up, put it in my bowl. I've got that feta cheese all ready to go. It's just a little blocked feta cheese that is, it's a goat feta. On top, maybe about the size of a dice is what I used in here. I'm going to take a little bit more of my balsamic vinegar and give it a little dress or a little zhuzh. And maybe, because you know what, I don't have any basil or parsley, I would normally take a sprig and put it on. Even for myself, I love to entertain. I'll just take maybe a little bit of the fresh basil, little green of there. And, oh, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go get an olive. So why not top it off with a little bit of an olive? So guys, that was a total of 15 minutes that I was able to pull together a beautiful left yummers from stuff that I had in my pantry, my leftovers that I had in my fridge, and I'm going to go enjoy this. So again, from the Kaslo Sourdough Pasta Company, this is Jeanette Martin. I so miss all of you guys when I come out and do my demos in the stores in the Lower Mainland of British Columbia. We will get back to that, but in the meantime, wherever possible, every day at 5 o'clock, I'm going to tune in and show you what I'm doing for supper using Kaslo sourdough. I'm looking at recipes about a kugel. So I'm going to let you guys go and Google what a kugel is. Oh my gosh, that's poetic. And maybe I'll do a kugel for Friday, because that'll be a nice treat for Saturday. So enjoy, everybody, from my home to your home. God bless. Cheers. Keep safe. Be with your families. Social distancing. And we too will see each other in the stores really soon. Enjoy. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow at 5.